Fight fans, fight fans, fight fans. This is Coldwell with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I have some new news concerning Dillian the Body Snatcher Whyte and David Coldwell, okay? David Coldwell said this about Dillian Whyte. He said, Dillian Whyte was instructed to keep Alexander Povetkin at range with his jab before his shock knockout, says David, okay? He says the jab was taking the sting out of him, taking the strength out of him, and he was finding the power shots off. Okay. David also continued. He says, what I remember, I said, I can only speak for myself. All his success in round 4 came off his jab. His power shots came off his jab, and he got the range perfectly. Okay. And he also said that behind the long jab, power shots come off it. It will repeat because he's going. The jab was taking the sting out of him, was taking the strength out of him, and the power shots were being found. It's one of those things, isn't it? Okay. Povetkin was going with left hooks to the body, said Coldwell. That's something that takes effect down the line. It makes you a little bit lethargic. It takes your legs away, a bit more heavy-legged. When you get lethargic, your concentration levels dip a little bit. He tried it in the previous round. He tried the uppercut in the previous round and missed, and then he went out and landed it. You can't account for every little punch they're going to throw, but if you're going to be in that space, Povetkin space, you're giving him the opportunity to take. Whether it's a hook or whatever it is, you're going to give him the opportunity. If you're not in the space, you're punching at your range, and you've got a longer range than Povetkin, and he can't get him off and can't touch him. Okay. Based on what David Coldwell said, let me counterpunch. Okay. First off, I believe he's absolutely right. He gave Povetkin the space he needed. Okay. When you're throwing an uppercut, the uppercut's only a certain... You're not going to reach with an uppercut. That's leaving yourself too exposed to whatever. Okay, hook, right hand, jab. You know, you can hit with basically everything coming off an uppercut except an uppercut. You know what I mean? Because you don't want to throw it right range. You know what I mean? The only person I know could get away with stuff like that is Roy Jones. You know what I mean? None of these guys are Roy Jones. So what he's saying is Dillian Whyte should have stayed behind the jab and not try to tussle with Povetkin, and that's what cost him, okay? Povetkin was setting those punches up, like David Coldwell explained. He was going to the body, okay? And how he got hit, he thought he was going to the body, and he got caught with an uppercut, okay? That could happen to anybody, but I think someone susceptible to uppercuts, like Dillian Whyte, that was a no-no. So I think in the future, Dillian Whyte needs to stay the hell away from Povetkin. Not be scared of him, be cautious and weary of him, because he knows what the man's capable of. Okay? Also, I want to add this. He said he can only speak for himself, right? Okay? Shout out to the knowledge, okay? He said it himself. He was listening to too many people in the ring. He was looking over his shoulder, as the thumbnail shows you. He was looking at Xavier Miller, right? So he was getting instruction from David Miller. Then David Coldwell was over his shoulder. So these guys were telling him two different things. You know what I mean? And when you have two different instructions, it confuses things a bit. You know, so I think that had a lot to do with it. That's why David Coldwell said, I can only speak for myself because I'm going off of what I told Dillian Whyte, but he was also being instructed by the head trainer, Xavier Miller. Okay, so that could be a little confusing. You know, shouts out to the knowledge, you know, Spencer Farron, for saying that in an interview that I interviewed him, and he said something on those grounds like, look, maybe he had too many people in his corner, but that does not stop David Coldwell from making sense, because it makes perfect sense. If you're taller than a guy, he ain't that much taller than the guy. First of all, he ain't that much. We seen that. He ain't that much taller, but he has longer reach. He has to use what he has. And I think Dillian Whyte needs to understand and grow from that as time moves forward. He knows, hey, My kryptonite's the uppercut, so let me stay away from the uppercut. So let me stay away from this guy, okay? Because we don't know when he's going to throw it, because the uppercut is an inside attack. It's one of the best things you can do while you're in the inside besides a hook, okay? So those are the weapons you use. You know, and then when he leaned in and tried to tussle with Povetkin, they gave all the Povetkin opportunity he needed to do what he did. And he did it. Okay, and it didn't take long. You know, one punch is all it takes. That's the power of heavyweight boxing. And that's exactly what it is. But I have to agree with Coldwell. I think Dillian Whyte should have used his jab, should have stayed longer range, should have respected Povetkin's power more, and not take anything for granted. But anyway, you guys tell me what you think about David Coldwell's prediction and instruction, meaning he didn't follow instruction to the T. Leave your comments below. Please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace.